Let me ask you a question. When you think of great anime and manga protagonists, who do you think of? Popular answers would be Naruto, Ichigo, Luffy, Goku, and many more. I have watched a fair amount of anime in my lifetime, and I feel like no protagonist is as underappreciated as Mob from Mob Psycho. Let me address this first. Judging by the fact that Mob Psycho is a hit in the anime scene, I acknowledge that Mob is adored by a lot of people. Though, I have never seen anyone's explanation for what makes him so special. Either I could be living under a rock or I just missed it. But either way, I'm still gonna give my take and perhaps you'll agree with me. Now, stemming from that first question I asked you, when you think of anime protagonists, think of their struggles. When I think about that, especially the arcs contained in shonen battle anime, I think of chaos. For the most part, these protagonists deal with extreme over-the-top adversity, which especially favors the concept of death. Yet Mob Psycho doesn't really have that. Sure, it has its fair share of intense moments and world-threatening stakes, but it's also quite grounded. And as for Mob as a character, he is really down to earth. Starting Mob Psycho at the beginning, you can tell how wildly different it is from its contemporaries. It differs stylistically and some episodes could be pretty weird from time to time, but it rarely, if not never, oversteps its boundaries. Then, there's our main character. When you begin a battle anime, you expect the main character to go through something rather traumatizing, or something so crazy that it changes their life forever. Yet, Mob doesn't go through that. He may have powers, but it never stopped him from being like a normal person. In fact, his abilities also play a factor in his human struggles. To provide some context, after an accident happened with his powers, that luckily nobody died from, due to his emotions flaring up, he became committed to keeping his emotions in check. This leads him to becoming socially awkward and he lacks friends. Well, except for a 28-year-old man who uses him for money. No, I will not elaborate any further for comedic effect. One day, he goes through a dilemma. Did his entire family die? No. Did an ancient god declare war on the universe? No. A club, the Telepathy Club, asks Mob to join them. But in the end, he chose to join the Body Improvement Club instead. Why? Because of a flashback that he had at that moment. One that showed him that there's more to him than his psychic abilities. One that reminds him that he's still human, a normal guy. This idea is highlighted the most during his fight with Teru. From there, throughout the show, he proceeds to evolve like a normal person. At least, that's what's happening currently. The show is still ongoing and you should watch it. It's really good, the fights are raw, and like I said, the character is nice. I love it so much. Oh my god, sorry, I became a fanboy for a second. As you progress through the show, you'll begin to notice that he's more in tune with his emotions and begins believing himself a little bit more. He joins a marathon, which he ultimately fails at, but the fact that he even decided to participate is fundamental for his character. He became more willing to put himself out there and improve as a person. All this helps him with his other goal, gaining the courage to ask out his middle school crush, Sumobi, who isn't really involved with any of Mob's external conflicts, but let alone a damsel in distress. She's just a normal girl. Even during his fights, which are incredibly raw, did I mention that they were incredibly raw? Mob never fails to remind us that he's human. My favorite moment was when he screamed his club's chant as he clashed fists with a man who took on a monstrous form. In my opinion, Mob could have attacked with something else, especially the second time around, but he chose to use his own two hands in that exchange. I believe that this was not only meant to display the impact his normal friends had on him, but also highlight his humanity, which I find quite beautiful. Mob's portrayal as just a regular guy is something I deeply appreciate. Not only that, but his very relatable struggles and strife towards improvement is inspirational. He reminds me that if you want change, if you want that improvement, it doesn't matter if you have powers or not. You have to put in the work to get it. And no matter who you are, you will always have obstacles in your path. But whether you get past them all depends on your will to do so and whether you're willing to act on that will. This idea is represented by an important piece of dialogue from the same episode I talked about earlier. Just having powers doesn't mean everything works out for you, but that's perfectly fine, as long as you make the important choices yourself. I am the protagonist of my own life. This is my favorite quote of any anime, and whether it is yours or not, as long as you're a person, as long as you are someone who has to go through the trudges of life, I bet it could speak to you in some way, shape, or form. As someone who struggles socially and emotionally as well, it's calming knowing that there is such a grounded character in one of my favorite anime, which is also in my favorite genre of anime. Not only that, his journey towards self-improvement, like I said, is inspirational and relatable. I really like how Mob is able to maintain a balance of epic and realistic moments without it seeming out of place, making him quite accessible and easy to like. Ironically, even with his character representing just a regular guy, he is truly one of a kind amongst the anime and manga world. And I hope that doesn't change in Season 3. This will conclude my analysis of Mob from Mob Psycho and how I find him to be a tad bit underrated for what he stands for and what he's supposed to represent. If you agree with me, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you disagree with me, well, make sure to like and subscribe. Honestly, I would love to do more of these character and story discussion videos. I am very fond of the creative works when it comes to writing, and it really motivates me to do my own stuff, like make scripts like this. So, like I said, like and subscribe. Alright, I'm done bugging you with that. But I hope you enjoyed the video and this analysis. I think I'll give Mob an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, that's a good score.